Hey guys, just wanted to do my review of Arrow Season 5, Episode 9, What We Leave Behind. So, this is their mid-season finale and, of course, their Christmas episode, even though they don't, or at least it takes place on Christmas anyway. And, essentially, Evelyn has been giving intel to Prometheus about all the address of all of Oliver's loved ones, and Prometheus, he doesn't want to kill Oliver, he wants to make him suffer in the same way basically the same way Deathstroke did back in season 2, make him pay for his sins, as he says. And so Evelyn just keeps up with the charade of basically getting everybody Christmas stockings for Team Arrow, customized Christmas stockings. And when Curtis is coming from an event and that's being hosted by Oliver, and Curtis tries to explain to his husband Paul like what he's been up to. He ends up getting attacked by Prometheus and hospitalized. And while Paul goes to make a statement to the cops, Oliver and Felicity come to see him, and they realize that if Prometheus knows that he's Mr. Terrific, he knows the identities of everybody on Team Arrow. And there's the flashback, and one that's actually mattered for the first time since episode 2, in which, and this is after people, Curtis had been infected with tuberculosis, and it came from a company run by Justin Claiborne. Justin Claiborne ran a pharmaceutical company, and he was on Oliver's list. And Oliver went after him because he was weaponized the tuberculosis, and just so there would be a need to sell his TB drug at jacked up prices. And at first, Oliver as the Hood back in season 1 broke into his lab and burnt it down, just gave him a warning, an ultimatum, but then it ultimately led to getting help from Felicity, and this is before Felicity officially joined Team Arrow, and Oliver was just working with Diggle. He found one of his black market groups from Claiborne, and so he ended up going to one of Claiborne's buildings, killing all the guards, and then officially killing Claiborne, especially after he says that he was just trying to thin the herd in Starling City before Oliver put an arrow in his chest. And you find at first they think, at first they start to wonder maybe Claiborne's Prometheus, and so when they go over to one of Claiborne's office building, they're attacked by Prometheus. Oliver notices that he does this flipping move that he was taught when he was in Russia, and he realizes that they both have the same mentor. And when Wild Dog comes to save him and shoots this Prometheus' sword out of his hand, Evelyn comes in and fires an arrow, knocking Wild Dog's gun out of his hand, revealing her treachery and saying the city needs to be saved from Oliver. Even though Oliver was just killing mostly bad people, and she's working, so she figures, I'm gonna go work for somebody who wants to kill him but is willing to kill innocent people just to do that, like women and children. Well, he hasn't killed children, but I wouldn't put it past him. Yeah, makes sense. So they find ashes at the building. It turns out that the ashes belong to Justin Claiborne himself. And Billy Malone, who's Felicity's boyfriend, has been investigating and says that it's his job to figure out who Prometheus is, and was asking Felicity to stay with him until she was safe. He goes to an abandoned office building where he finds a baby picture, and when he's texting the photo to Felicity, he gets attacked by Prometheus. And using a DNA scanner of the ashes, they realize that's Justin Claiborne, and the picture that's been sent to them is probably indicating that it's Justin Claiborne's illegitimate son, and that he's probably Prometheus. It's not 100% confirmed since we never see him unmasked. So it feels like it still could be a red herring. I mean, time will tell. It's like the writers are still kind of leaving the door open for it to be another character. Um, so so eventually, and it leads to Thea suiting up and trying to help Oliver find Billy Malone and trying to convince Oliver that his legacy is left more um, good than bad in spite of his self doubts. And but it kind of goes out the window when he finds an abandoned building where it's like the exact building where he killed Justin Claiborne, and all like the guards' bodies are like, laid out in the same manner that Oliver killed the guards like 4 years ago. And so now, and so he confronts Prometheus and says that he's doing this out of more than just revenge. And then when Prometheus pulls a disappearing act, and then Oliver finds him again, he puts 3 arrows in his chest. But then it turns out that it wasn't really Prometheus; that it was just a gagged Billy Malone who set him up to die at Oliver's hands, just to prove that he still got that killer instinct, and to prove to Oliver that anything he touches ends up dead or ruined. And so Oliver goes back to the Arrow Cave and confesses what happened to Billy to Felicity and the rest of the team. And then, which is an interesting form of character development for both of them, is that Oliver's not deciding not to keep anything secret. He's coming clean with everybody. And on Felicity's part, she's not holding it. She doesn't have any ill will towards Oliver. She knows that it was an accident, and she knows that the one person to blame for Billy's death is Prometheus. And which I appreciated it, and instead of just leading into some pointless drama about her getting mad at him again and acting like it's like the worst thing that ever happened to mankind. And I guess the drama should come from the fact that Oliver's going to start having more self-doubt, knowing that he accidentally killed him, and that's going to be weighing on his conscience. And then the things kind of go from bad to worse, because when Curtis tries to finally comes clean about his life as a vigilante, Paul gives him an ultimatum saying, "Yeah, that live his life as a vigilante, or you choose to be his husband." Which is, but instead, Paul decides to make it easy for Curtis and decides to just pack up his things and leave. And then Diggle gets a phone call from Lila from the Argus safe house that something's wrong, and when he gets there, there's a SWAT team there to bring him back into custody. And Felicity is grieving, and then Oliver just goes to spend the night with Susan, that reporter. And interestingly enough, she has a bottle that's like labeled in Russian writing. So my thoughts are that she's either is Prometheus or just like an ally of Prometheus, who's just working with her in like a similar dynamic to Ravager and Deathstroke. So it's interesting to have like the parallels they're going for in season 5 with season 2, unintentional or not. And the episode ends with Oliver walking into the Arrow Cave the next morning, and she just turns around and says, "Hi, Ollie," which is, somebody made this observation online. It's similar to when Laurel walked into the police station in the pilot and saw Oliver standing there looking at newspapers, and Oliver just goes, "Hi, Laurel," which is a nice callback to season 1. And of course I've been following news about how they think because the writers talked about Felicity wanting to get revenge for Billy's death, everybody thinks she's going to be like the new Black Canary. I don't think that's going to happen. I just think she's going to be more ruthless and pragmatic in the same way that Chloe Sullivan was in like season 9 of Smallville. And of course, and I don't know. Well, if anybody watched the trailers, then this is gonna be spoiler. Then they've probably known that it's Black Siren posing as Laurel Lance, and time will tell. I mean, since she's only supposed to be in this and maybe one or two other episodes, whether or not she's actually going to get a redemption arc or stay evil, whether or not she's working for Prometheus, it's all speculation at this point. So, anyway, what do you guys think of the episode, and who do you think Prometheus is aside from Tommy? I think he's on another show now. He wouldn't have time to do it. You just have to rule it out. So, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.